Good afternoon and welcome back to Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching the closing bell. I am Santosh Nair.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Well, indices, benchmark indices managed to stage a good comeback today. However, key Adani stocks continue to be under pressure. Adani Enterprises was the biggest loser, with the stock falling by over more than 25%. Mid-cap shares were under pressure early on in the session. However, they managed to make a good comeback. Auto, metal, pharma and PSU banks were among the prominent losers, and the India Volatility Index interestingly dropped by about 5.3% to 15.33.
Yes, and Santo, the markets now I think have been forgetting the fact that now Adani Group, the kind of fall and the kind of panic which it got created in the last 3-4 days, it is probably behind us. In terms of the kind of price action we saw today, we had a gap up after the Adani Group pulled out of the FPO and tried to refund investors as soon as possible. Obviously, the group chairman Gautam Adani also had a speech in which he said that the kind of response he got was good, but the kind of market conditions and the stock price collapse has made him realize that investors are a priority. And the kind of losses that investors might face, given the fact that prices are significantly down, they should have an option to exit, or the option of withdrawal of the FPO, and that is what exactly happened. Obviously, we also had Ambuja Cement, which dipped in trade, managed to recover. However, the stock under pressure, apart from Adani Enterprise and Gujarat Ambuja Cements, that was Adani Ports. That stock was also down 7-8% last time when I checked on closing tick. Santo, interestingly today ACC also made a disclosure, because the cash flow statement which came, that made people realize that 5,000 crores worth of cash has changed year on year basis. The cash position had decreased. Obviously, the company in a cash flow statement said that they declared dividends, and so there were certain working capital changes which happened. But if you look at one item line, which was 1194 crores, say 1200 crores, that came under a coal contract advance or a coal contract amount. Obviously, the company has not clarified whether or not this coal contract is with related parties or with Adani Enterprises or any other Adani group. We have put them a query, but given the fact that the group or the Adani group specializes in coal trading and coal contracting, it's most likely that it would have been a related party transaction. So let's wait for the management clarification. But this 1200 crores from ACC's balance sheet has moved out, obviously for purchase of coal. Hopefully the management will clarify, but these are all the things which will now keep coming, and that is something that the analyst community will also be watching out very very closely. तो ये देखा जाएगा कि किस हिसाब से अदानी ग्रुप पूरी कोशिश करता है इस पूरे क्राइसिस से बाहर निकलने की.
Clearly, and it's having a ripple effect too. So you had InterSED issuing a clarification yesterday. The stock had fallen close to about 10-15% over the last 1 week.
Yeah, and tomorrow we have SBI results, Santo, and सभी लोग SBI चेयरमैन को पूछेंगे कि आपका अदानी का एक्सपोजर क्या है, क्योंकि आज लगभग पूरा ऑपोजिशन एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहा था, जहां उन्होंने कहा कि स्टेट बैंक, LIC और बहुत सारी बैंक्स का पैसा अदानी ग्रुप के साथ लगा हुआ है, तो ये सरकार इसकी जांच करे, रेगुलेटर इसकी जांच करे. तो ऑपोजिशन से भी प्रेशर आ रहा है, पॉलिटिकल सर्कल से भी प्रेशर आ रहा है, बैंक्स पे भी प्रेशर है कि वो डिस्क्लोजर करें और किस प्रकार का एक्सपोजर है उसके बारे में भी जानकारी दें. तो लेट्स सी कल SBI की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में क्या होता है.
Well, and with that, let's move on to the stocks that caught our attention this afternoon, beginning with Jubilant Foodworks. Big loser there, falling by more than about 5%. Now, Morgan Stanley has cut its target price for Jubilant Foodworks to 560 rupees. The third quarter earnings, according to Morgan Stanley, were short of what generally analysts were expecting. And the key negatives that Morgan Stanley has flagged off for Jubilant Foodworks include weak operating leverage, uncertain demand outlook, and also the closure of its Ekdam and Chef Boss brands. So, clearly quite a few disappointments there, but at the positive side, Morgan Stanley has also said that the store opening momentum continues to remain strong. the key thing that analysts would be keeping an eye out for is the trend in commodity prices, because that is something which is hurting Jubilant Foodworks. And also in its earning calls, the Jubilant CEO mentioned that the hike in prices and also the introduction of delivery charges had kind of led to some kind of a issue as far as the value proposition of Domino's brand with its consumers was concerned. So, quite a few headwinds there, and we are seeing the stock under pressure for quite some time now.
Yes, and obviously मैनेजमेंट ने स्ट्रेटजी भी सैंटो चेंज की है. जुबिलेंट फूडवर्क की बात करें तो अब वो इन डाइनिंग पे फोकस करेंगे. इतने टाइम वो डिलीवरी पे फोकस कर रहे थे, QSR पे फोकस कर रहे थे, बट अब एक डाइनिंग एक्सपीरियंस वो देना चाहते हैं कस्टमर्स को, और बहुत सारे ब्रांड्स उनके दिमाग में है जो लॉन्च करेंगे. ऑब्वियसली एक प्रेस रिलीज में बात भी है कि यहाँ से कॉस्ट थोड़े एलिवेटेड रहेंगे, मार्जिन पे थोड़ा बहुत प्रेशर रहेगा, तो शायद ये चीज़ें बाज़ार को पसंद नहीं आई.
Well, and the other sector today, Yatin, which has been under pressure is life insurance stock. Clearly,
Yes.
the announcements in the budget taxing, and there's some lack of clarity on that also in terms of the taxes that would be levied on products for which more than 5 lakh of premium is paid
Yes.
annually,
Yes.
which was actually turning out to be an arbitrage product for most high net worth individuals.
Yeah, because it has had a tax benefit, and Santo मुझे लगता है कि जो स्ट्रक्चर्ड डिबेंचर्स थे पिछले साल बोनस स्ट्रिपिंग का जो लूप होल था, काफ़ी सारे लूप होल्स मुझे लगता है गवर्नमेंट जैसे रियलाइज़ करती है यहाँ टैक्स आर्बिट्राज हो रहा है, टैक्स का मिसयूज़ हो रहा है, तुरंत वो लूप होल बंद हो जाता है.
क्लियरली योर स्टॉक.
तो IDFC फर्स्ट बैंक ये एक स्टॉक रेडार पे है. ऑब्वियसली क्योंकि IDFC लिमिटेड को एक बड़ा अमाउंट आया है अपने म्यूचुअल फंड के बिजनेस को बेचने के बाद. 1760 करोड़ यानी 1760 करोड़ डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो गए डिविडेंड्स अपने शेयर होल्डर्स को, लेकिन 2200 करोड़ रुपए 2200 करोड़ विल कम इनटू IDFC फर्स्ट बैंक एज कैपिटल इन्फ्यूजन. ऑब्वियसली दोनों एंटिटीज़ के मर्जर के भी प्लान्स हैं, लेकिन अगर हम इन्फ्यूजन की बात करें तो प्रॉब्ली यहाँ से इनकी कैपिटल एडुकेसी रेशियो को बूस्ट मिलेगा, इनके लेंडिंग को बूस्ट मिलेगा, ग्रोथ को बूस्ट मिलेगा. तो ये एक चीज़ है जो रिजल्ट्स के साथ पॉजिटिवली देखे जा रहे हैं, और शायद इसीलिए यहाँ CLSA की एक बाय रेटिंग है सेंटो, टारगेट है उनका 75 रुपीज़.
Well, and with banks, the sentiment was very positive till some time back,
Right.
but it looks like the easy money has been made there. And now the challenge for most banking players right now is that they're finding it tough to mobilize deposits.
Yes,
In fact, that's
yes.
one segment which would have been very happy had the government actually come out with tweaks to the capital gain structure.
Right.
In fact, some of the bankers admitted as much. However, that's not to be. So, that will be a key challenge, and also as interest rates continue to rise, Yatin, the demand for loans, that also probably to some extent
Correct.
could get affected. Well, last stock on my watch list today is Indian Hotels. The stock was among the prominent losers. Stock had witnessed a sharp rally yesterday, mainly on the back of strong third quarter numbers. You saw the net profit for the December quarter almost growing fourfold compared to the same period last year, driven by a 50% rise in its revenues on a year-on-year basis. Operating margins were also pretty strong. 35% was the operating margin for the quarter ended December, and overall things are looking good for the hotel sector at this point. The general view among analysts is that demand for hotel rooms still continues to outstrip supply, and this could well be the case at least in the near future. Clearly, December was also traditionally a strong quarter for Indian hotel. That is usually the time when people have vacation, travel a lot. Plus, yesterday there was the sentiment booster in the form of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman saying that tourism would be put in the mission mode and has allocated 2,400 crore for the sector as well. So, this added to the positive sentiment. But again, if you look at the Indian hotel stock, it's been struggling for a while
Correct.
now, and data seems to indicate that yesterday's big spurt was led by short covering of positions more than anything else. It's been struggling to get past 340, the high which it had made in October last year.
Yes.
Although on the charts it seems to be giving a mixed signal. If you look at the moving averages, all of them are showing a bullish sign. Out of 6 key moving averages, 5 of them are showing a positive trend. The 100-day moving average is the only level which is flashing a negative sign, and if you look at other technical indicators as well, 5 out of 7 are showing a positive strength.
Absolutely, and Santo, I don't know how much it is of that is in the price because कंपनी ने राइट्स इशू किया था, उसके बाद एक QIP किया था, तो प्रॉब्ली बाजार को थोड़ा बहुत पता भी है कि रूम रेंटल्स आर गोइंग स्ट्रॉन्ग, कैपेसिटीज़ नहीं है, शायद यहाँ से यूटिलाइजेशन इंप्रूव होगा, लेकिन रिजल्ट्स के बाद एक 7-8% का जंप देखा, तो आज थोड़ी बहुत प्रॉफिट टेकिंग इस स्टॉक में हमको देखने को मिली। दूसरा जो स्टॉक मेरे रेडार पे है उसके बारे में बात करते हैं, बिरला सॉफ्ट। और सैंटो, एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ नैस्डैक में येस्टरडे हुई, 200 डे मूविंग एवरेज के ऊपर नैस्डैक बंद हुआ, एंड आईटी स्टॉक्स ऑब्वियसली आर डूइंग वेल। ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा बहुत स्केयर है आईटी सेक्टर का क्या होगा, लेकिन अब यूएस टेक्नोलॉजी स्टॉक्स में आपको खरीदारी देखने को मिल रही है। आज भी अगर हम देखें तो आईटी स्टॉक्स में खरीदारी थी, लेकिन एक स्टॉक जो आज आईटी की स्ट्रेंथ के बावजूद 8% नीचे था और आज अर्निंग्स है, वो है बिरला सॉफ्ट। यहाँ फॉल का कारण जो था वो मेजरली था कि उनका एक बड़ा क्लाइंट यूएस में जो मेडिकल डिवाइसेस मैन्युफैक्चर करता है, जिसका नाम है इनवा केयर, इन्होंने बैंकरप्सी के लिए फाइल कर दिया। क्योंकि ये बिरला सॉफ्ट का एक बड़ा क्लाइंट है और 2019 में $240 मिलियन का एक बड़ा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इन्होंने साइन किया था, क्योंकि अब ये क्लाइंट बैंकरप्सी फाइल कर रहा है, कंसर्न्स है ग्रोथ को लेके, शायद ये बड़ा क्लाइंट जो एक बड़ा बिजनेस लाता था बिरला सॉफ्ट के लिए, शायद बैंकरप्सी के चक्कर में बहुत सारे कॉस्ट रिड्यूस करेगा, आगे जाके क्या होगा पता नहीं है, और शायद मार्केट ने इसको एक थम्स डाउन दिया, स्टॉक 8% लगभग डेज लो पे जाके बंद हुआ है।
Market still very interestingly poised, Yatin, and tomorrow is the last trading session of the week also. The key factor that everyone will be watching out for is whether the pressure in Adani stocks continues. That at the
But Santo, if you look at the market move yesterday, advance decline ratio अच्छा था, लेकिन obviously second half में एक गेन हमने गिव अप किया बजट के बाद, लेकिन आज एडवांस डिक्लाइन रेशियो ऑलमोस्ट 1:1 था, तो शायद अब अदानी ग्रुप के स्टॉक्स में एक आगे पीछे एक बड़ा पैनिक हो जाता है, तो शायद मार्केट अब इसको इग्नोर करेगा। आज ऑलरेडी इग्नोर करना शुरू कर दिया। अब निफ्टी बैंक देखिए, इंडेक्स देखिए, लगभग डेज हाई पे बंद हुआ है, तो मुझे लगता है अब ऑब्वियसली अनाउंसमेंट्स और न्यूज़ फ्लोज तो अदानी ग्रुप में शुरू ही रहेंगे, लेकिन मार्केट अब थोड़ा बहुत उसको दरकिनार करके, जैसे टिपिकली होता है 4-5 दिन के न्यूज़ फ्लो के बाद लोग उसको डिस्काउंट कर देते हैं, दूर हो जाते हैं और शायद दूसरे स्टॉक्स में कमाई के मौके ढूंढते हैं।
Well, and with that, it's a wrap on this episode of Closing Bell. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with you again at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद।
In the meantime, for all news, views, and analysis, stay logged on to moneycontrol.com.